All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin in the crypto markets. And man, oh man, is Bitcoin pumping. We have seen a tremendous pump today of almost $17,000. Well, not just today, but since the lows, $17,000 pump. Trump announced the Bitcoin reserves might be coming into effect, or he had a tweet discussing the reserves of crypto, not just Bitcoin, but Solana, XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, and maybe some more. And that news just sparked the markets to push really aggressively to the upside. And we are seeing a very big push up here. So, what's next for Bitcoin? Is the low end? Well, I can tell you that reclaiming 93K is pretty darn good. We did close the weekly candle above 93K, and that was our key value area low that we really needed to reclaim in order to really establish the bullish trend again. So Bitcoin was able to close that weekly candle above 93K, very bullish sign. Let's go ahead and dive into this and see what's going on here, because in my last video, I did talk about how this little push up that we were seeing on Friday could just be the wave one of a much bigger impulse to the upside. And now we can go ahead and look at this and see if this is a much bigger impulse to the upside. The one thing I don't like about that is our wave two was very short and very shallow. And generally in a wave two, you want to see it retrace at least to the 382. And if we go ahead and do our Fibonacci pull from the lows to the highs here, and we turn on our 382, you can see we didn't even really hit the 382 on this retrace. Actually, let's go ahead and turn on our 236 and see if we even made it. Yeah, we retraced from the 236. But generally, that's not a very common target for a wave two. Now, wave fours can generally sometimes bounce from a 236, but not really wave twos. So a little bit concerning there, but this was news-based push to the upside. We were at some significant lows, and we talked about this on Friday's video that we could see a move up from here. I was looking for a lower high to come in, and in some respects, I still am looking for a lower high to come in. But this just, this being the first pro crypto administration and seeing them actually kind of confirms the first time that since he's actually been in office that this is still a reality really is causing a lot of euphoria in the markets, or a lot of anticipation, and people are trying to buy up that anticipation before those launches happen. And Bitcoin, man, when Bitcoin decides to rip, it just doesn't give a shit about any resistances. It will bust through those resistances so fast. But one of the things I want to point out here, guys, look at where we ended our pump today at the 786. Now, this 786 fib pull is from our last 99K highs when we hit that 99.5 area down to our lows. If we do a Fibonacci pull of this gigantic dump we have here, you can see that we've retraced to our 786 here. Now, we are seeing a bit of a pullback right now from that 786, but since we have reclaimed the value area low at 93K, are we just dropping to the value area low to back test that to see if we are going to continue higher? So the value area low here, we're coming up to it right now. And this value area low back test is going to be really key, because if we pumped up here on a Sunday, a weekend price action, and we just dump right back through it, it could be a bad sign. This news was based off of something that actually hasn't happened yet. It's just bullish anticipation of it happening. So we do need to be careful. But a lot of coins are having really huge pumps today, really huge impulses to the upside. And we can look for some more price action. I mean, like, you guys, because there's not really much of a correction in this push up so far, this $17,000 push up. What if this is just a wave one of the much bigger impulse, right? Like this thing, if this thing's going to go to 130, 150K, this could be wave one of a much higher impulse to the upside. Now, we did talk about our key lows were that anchored VWAP from the 49K lows in confluence with our golden pocket. Also, the big thing that we were talking about, let's go zoom out onto the daily chart here. And if we do our Fibonacci pull on the daily chart from the 49K lows, let me get rid of some of this stuff here. If we do our Fibonacci pull from the 49K lows here to our current all-time high. And we're going to turn on our 0.5. Now, the 0.5 is a common correction target in a fourth wave correction to the upside. We've been talking about we're in the fifth wave of a bigger weekly impulse. But in this wave here, inside the fifth wave of the bigger weekly impulse, we have been looking for maybe a wave 5 to complete here, our 5-wave impulse within our wave 5 to complete. And, with this dump, I was speculating that, yes, it might be completed, that we might be seeing distribution. And I do still think this was a sort of distribution event that did happen. But, of course, you can see this anchored VWAP overall held, and our 0.5 pretty much called the lows there. Now, oftentimes in a fourth wave, the 0.5 is your correction target. So what are we looking at here? Could we be looking at still us being involved in this bigger impulse? So, like a 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's your 3, 4, 5, 4. Do we need to see one more high for a 5? If we have 2 1 2s, you expect 2 4 5s. Now, generally, in a double 1 2, you don't really want to retrace past the lows of your first 4, but it does happen in crypto, and it doesn't invalidate the pattern, I should say. So maybe this is just the fourth wave that we just saw before a bigger pump up, and maybe this was like a WXY correction here, and then now we're gonna go skyrocket. So let's let's keep that in mind. We could continue pumping. I am anxious to see how the markets react, the traditional markets react to this news tomorrow morning when traditional markets open up. What are the ETFs going to do? Are the ETFs going to start buying like crazy because this anticipation? There's a lot to watch here on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is trying to reclaim this value area low now. I mean, we did close the weekly candle above the value area low. If we go on to that weekly candle here, let's look at this weekly candle. You can see very, very clearly. Let me get rid of this 0.5 now. And you can see this weekly candle here, big wick to the downside. We were able to close the weekly candle above that value area low. So are we going to see Bitcoin bounce from the value area low and make a complete turnaround and go towards new all-time highs? I would say yes, it's a possibility. We could. It's a far greater possibility than when we closed the monthly close 2 days ago. So that's kind of what we're watching here for Bitcoin. Let me make sure that's right. And let's keep an eye on this. This is very exciting news. This is very interesting. All right, let's go into our liquidity, and then we'll also go into our CVD because I want to show you guys a couple things on the CVD. So you can see our liquidity heat map. We do have the majority of the liquidity now is just below, or is below us, around that 85K area, 85 to 83K. And we do have a little bit of liquidity above us still. Now, in this push that we saw, let's zoom back in onto, let's go onto the 2-hour chart here. And in this massive push up that we saw, once again, I don't like the wave 2 correction here, but if this was our wave 1 here, our wave 2 here, and this is our wave 3, we could be in our fourth wave retracement here before making one more 5 and making our 5-wave impulse complete in this. Or another really, really bullish scenario would be this is part of a double 1 2, like this being a 1 2 1 2, and then you see your giant third wave to the upside. So there is a possibility that Bitcoin is about to get very bullish here. This backtest that we are literally that is pretty much happening on the charts as we speak is a very, very important backtest here. You can see that Bitcoin did not make a new high from the high earlier, so we can't say the fifth wave is in if it was a truncated fifth wave. But one of the things I want to talk about here, we do have significant resistance just above us, and that's where our fifth wave can end. You can see this anchored VWAP right here is the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. If we look at that all-time high up here, that anchored VWAP has been acting as a resistance. Last time we hit that anchored VWAP was 102.5, and it rejected us pretty hard. So we do have a fresh daily up there at that anchored VWAP level. I do believe now that should be, let's go on to the weekly chart here. Okay, well, we have our weekly that looks like No. Yes, this weekly here. Now, this weekly is only an hour and 13 minutes old, so we'll go ahead and put that on the chart. It actually hasn't been hit yet since the weekly candle closed. And then if we go back to our daily chart here, you can see that that daily was the last daily up there, and it was not hit. You can see here, that daily is still naked. It has not been hit yet. So we have that daily up there, and we have a weekly very close by. But also, if we do our horizontal range from November 11th, if we go ahead and pull this range from this candle here all the way to right before the dump, I'm not including the dump in this candle. Look where our point of control is, right at that daily. So this area just above us is a pretty significant resistance just above us. It's our big range point of control. We have a weekly, a daily, and the anchored VWAP from the all-time high. Let's go ahead and mark that out here. Weekly, daily, POC. So that area between really 96.3 and 96.6 is going to be a pretty important area to watch for. If we bounce from this 93K level now, we could, if we bounce from 93 now, it's almost guaranteed that we're coming up to this resistance. And depending on what we do at this resistance is going to be really key. Okay, while we're here, let's go ahead and check our naked daily points of controls and our naked weekly points of controls. So you can see we also have a naked daily point of control up there. Let me check the weeklies first to see if that's a weekly as well. Yeah, naked weekly point of control up there. Remember the last time, guys, that we had a naked weekly point of control in confluence with a weekly level in confluence with the anchored VWAP. Well, where was that last time that we saw that? That was at the 102.5 highs right before we crashed. So we really need to be aware that it's the same sort of resistance that we're facing right now here. Let's go ahead and mark this out real quick. And there's also a naked daily in there. So I just want to go back to this real quick before we move on. Up here at 102.5K, this pump here, where this pump ended, let's zoom in onto the 4-hour chart. And let's go over right here, this pump. You can see that's where we nailed the naked or anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. There was an old weekly level there. If I go back into my weekly chart and mark it out, you will see there was a weekly exactly there. There was also the naked weekly point of control right in this area as well. Same sort of setup. And you can see that gave us a significant push down here. We are literally facing the same sort of resistance in this box right now, the box that we just marked out here. Naked weekly point of control, daily level, weekly level, anchored VWAP, large range point of control. So this level just above us is very significant. All right. Yeah, so that's a key level I'm going to be following and watching. Now we do have, if I'm going to go back to my other chart, my Bybit chart, where we've been watching this bearish pitchfork play out. And remember, we bounced from the bearish pitchfork band here, got the pump up to the midline, dropped, but we also rejected from the top of the pitchfork. Well, look at where the top of the pitchfork is also coming in. Right at that point of control. There's also the daily there. There's also the weekly there. And the anchored VWAP on Bybit is just a bit higher than Coinbase. But this general area is the area. 96, I'd say 96.3 to 97K is the area where we have significant resistance above because our pitchfork is also up there. I really don't like how we front ran the bearish pitchfork bottom down here. And yeah, we did just pump straight through this resistance. This resistance didn't work. That was where our pitchfork band, our retest of our value area low, and we had a golden pocket in there. That was actually a very strong resistance. But like I said, when Bitcoin starts to rip, it don't give a shit. So Bitcoin just pumped straight through it. We pumped through so many local resistances, and we just saw very bullish price action. But we still have not gotten back to really our main resistance. As you guys know, naked points of controls are so strong on the chart because that a point of control is where the most volume has been traded. And so it tends to be defended really strongly either by the bulls or the bears. And this level above us, not only the top of the pitchfork where you can see we've been rejecting from the top of that pitchfork, 1, 2, 3, is this going to be our fourth rejection from the top of the bearish pitchfork? It's going to be significant resistance. Now, if we reclaim this, guys, we're probably going to new all-time highs, to be honest with you. I mean, we still have to watch the value area high, which is coming in around 103K. But let's be real. If we reclaim this point of control here, Bitcoin's looking bullish. All right, now, what can we do now? We can zoom out here on, let's go onto the 12-hour chart. And let's go ahead. I'm just going to hide this volume profile real quick. And let's go ahead and mark out our golden pocket from the all-time high. That's our all-time. Yeah, from our all-time high down to our lows that we made, our 79K lows. Golden pocket also there, guys, right above that. So let's say this. Let's go back onto our Coinbase chart. This resistance that we're looking at here, I'm going to make the resistance box a little bit bigger, but we're going to do that golden pocket pull on Coinbase because you guys know that I'm a Coinbase guy. I like Coinbase levels the best. Let me make sure that's on there. All right. Point of control, golden pocket, naked weekly point of control. And also, let me remind you that 102.5K area, that also had the golden pocket in it. If we do our golden pocket pull from our all-time high to our last current low, look at golden pocket was right there. Boom, rejected the golden pocket, specifically the 618 of the golden pocket. So now we have the same exact sort of setup of strong, heavy resistance above us. This resistance here, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull it up to the 618 for now, and we are going to add a GP there. Now, if we break a daily, if we close a daily candle above this golden pocket, Bitcoin is probably going to continue much higher. We do have to remember the value area high of our range is in confluence with our top pitchfork band, the resistance of the top pitchfork band at 103K. So that would be the next area I would be looking. And that's also going to be around where the 786 is. Let's go ahead and mark that 786 out real quick. Yeah, 786 is right there as well. So we have a couple really strong levels of resistance above us. Here, this is going to be our 786. That's the macro 786 from the all-time high down to the 79K lows. 786. What was that? Value area high and pitchfork band. We have got some key levels to be watching here on the charts. Let's see how Bitcoin's doing. Look at Bitcoin is already starting to bounce from that value area low. So this is a decent sign here that Bitcoin is bouncing on its first test from the value area low now. I just want to check something real quick here. Dang. All right. Back to Bitcoin. I actually expect Bitcoin to bounce from here to come up to test this level. We got so close to that level. It just makes sense that we come up into this box here. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just checking something out real quick here. I want to make sure I have my TPs. All right, so Bitcoin looking strong. We're pumping, baby. If we go onto our 200 SMA VWAP bands, you can see we did top out at the top of the VWAP band. They did expand. Once again, guys, anytime these bands really contract like this, they act like Bollinger Bands where you do usually see explosive price action out of these bands. And they were contracting pretty strongly after they expanded a week ago with the dump. So, and look at where now the band, every 15 minutes, they change based off the SMA. And you can see here, if you're on the 15-minute time frame, that is. And it is up, the top of the band now is up in that resistance area, about 97K up in this area here. Let's zoom out to the 2-hour chart. Money flow looks pretty good here. Money flow looks pretty strong. We are starting to top out on our momentum wave here. And it would be, if we do see a bigger pullback, this pitchfork midline now is going to be pretty key. So let's go ahead and actually look at this pitchfork midline. Let's go to our 0.5. All right, our 0.5, you guys can see this 0.5. Yes, it's a little bit past the pitchfork band. Actually, remember I said I like the Bybit pitchfork a little bit better. And you can see also, look at this on the Bybit pitchfork. Pumped up, found resistance there, saw our small retracement, got above it, back tested it, and that's when we saw our mega pump. So even though this was a news-based pump, technical analysis is one of the main reasons why we find support where we find support. And look at this, after we reclaimed the pitchfork band, back tested it, boom. So now let's go ahead and do this pull, Fibonacci pull here. And yeah, 0.5 is a little bit above that. Let's check our golden pocket. All right, golden pocket's where the 0.5, where the other one is. So why did I delete that? I think this 0.5, if we do see a pullback, look at our prior highs are there of this last weekend high or Friday highs. Our Friday highs are there. And let's do a volume profile pull of just this range here. This was kind of the bottom range we were in before we exploded. Value area high retest. All right, so lots of confluence here at 86.6, around 86.634 on Bybit. We have our 0.5. Our pitchfork band is, our pitchfork midline, is around that area. We have our prior highs there. Anytime you you see a high like this and you break it to the upside, oftentimes you'll come back test it to flip it to support. So I am going to say our first major support area is going to be this area here. Value area high. Let's make this green. Value area high. 0.5. And a pitchfork midline. Okay. There's that. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's expand this out a little bit. Okay, then let's go on to our 4-hour chart real quick. Let's look at our divs on the 4 hours. All right, our momentum wave is topping out, and you can see here, let's make this full screen for a second. Money flow is starting to curve over again. So once again, guys, we're not completely out of the woods yet. We are in the process right now of back testing the value area low. And yes, naked daily point of control as well. So this resistance up here is just so strong. Naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control, daily level, weekly level, anchored VWAP, golden pocket. I mean, how much more confluence do you want up there? That is very strong. And then this 0.5 and our prior highs is our support below us. Those are the two main levels I'm watching right now. Now I should say I'm watching as well the back test of the value area low, which is happening as we speak. It's happening as I'm recording this video. So I need to watch this, because if we start to lose this, I'm probably going to close my long. I longed somewhere down in here earlier, and I was primarily focused on Link and Solana, and I did catch the lows on both those. That was great. Taking 2 TPs on most of those. I'm out of 75% of my longs on both of those trades, by the way. And I'm looking to close out 10% more coming up on Solana soon here. All right. I lost train of thought here. Oh, let's go into our liquidity and let's look at our Model 2 heat map here real quick. All right, yeah, so just above us, we have some liquidity above the highs that we made earlier today. And I do think that if we bounce from this 93K value area low, we're at least coming to take this liquidity. If not, I mean, if we bounce from the value area low where we're at now, we're coming up to this box, if not the higher boxes, if not new all-time highs. So we'll see how this is. Don't get overly emotional with this pump. Yes, it's a $17,000 pump after we saw a $17,000 dump, $18,000 dump. Crypto's volatile, and news can really move the market, especially more macro news like this that has much bigger implications. But mark out your levels, be patient, wait for your levels to come to trades and take trades. Nobody should have been shorting down in this area here because we'd already just dumped $15,000, $16,000. Even if you think it's going to go down to $70,000, which I did think it might go down to $70,000, you can't short down here because your risk management, unless it's a super small scalp and you have proper risk management. Like, you know, when we rejected this here, I think I took a scalp short from this here, took profit at the anchor, actually at the lows, because I thought we might SFP these lows here. But what you do is you can, if you're going to short in this area, you better play it as a scalp because we've already dumped this much, and you better have your stop losses set with proper risk management. So if you get stopped out, you don't liquidate your whole account. Same thing here, guys. We just pumped $17,000. If you're longing up here, say you're going to long the bullish backtest of the value area low, you better have your stop set in case we break that value area. So for instance, right now, we're in the process of backtesting the value area low. Say you just long this value area low right now, and you want to take it up to this level. You're going to long, we'll say we're going to long right where we're at right now. TP is going to be up in this area here. Your stop has to go below these lows that was just created, because if now we start dropping even lower, you're gonna be invalidated. Your plan is that we're bouncing from the value area low and coming up to this area. So if we start dropping below the value area low, obviously your plan is wrong. You get out of your trade. I would say you could even set your stop below this low here. So maybe we could pull that a little bit down like this. So at 1% stop. So you could pretty much 1x your entire portfolio. And if you get stopped out of this trade, you'll only be losing 1%. It's still a 3.6 risk reward ratio, or close to it, 3.58 risk reward ratio. So this would be an acceptable scalp, but you have to have proper risk management if you're going to long after a $17,000 pump. Just be aware of that. I just want to check something out real quick here. Let's look at, all right, we're below the value area low of our low 6-minute range. So yeah, this is what risk management is, guys. So just be aware in bigger trades. Like I tend to like bigger trades. I do scalp as well. Scalping is much harder than like doing bigger day trades or swing trades. But all week I had been saying I've been looking for swing trades on a lot of these coins because they're at lows, specifically altcoins, because altcoins are a bit more beaten down than Bitcoin. And also they generally have bigger returns when they do bounce. So that's why I was more focused on altcoins here. But yeah, all right. So that was an example of a scalp if after a pump, but you got to be very careful with those, because if we start to break this value area low, like I said, we could come down to that 0.5 very quickly. And if you didn't have proper risk management, you're losing a significant chunk of your portfolio, or you're losing all of it, you know? So use proper risk management. The biggest thing I can teach and harp on in this video is use proper risk management. I think risk management is the most important thing to trading. Even if you're a guru and you can find all the levels, if you do not know how to do proper risk management, long-term, you will get wrecked. Daily chart here. All right, so we did see that green dot a couple days ago. And in the video a couple days ago, I did say we are seeing a green dot on Market Cipher B. This could give us a bounce up to 93K. I also talked about in that video, let me see if I can pull up that video here, and I'll play the video for you, because I did say that this could be the start of a much bigger impulse to the upside. So let's play this, and whatever the charts are telling us, this could be a wave 1 impulse of a much bigger 5-wave impulse to the upside. So we do have to keep that in mind. And we did see our mini double 1-2 impulse complete within this first push up here. Yeah, and we talked about the green dot. The green dot could give us a bounce, and it could be a significant bounce, even if we're making a lower high in the making, and then we're going to dump down to 70K or 70, you know, this area in here. We did expect something from this green dot, and we were just so oversold. We had dumped, you know, $20,000 or so from the all-time highs. And it was time, you know, it was time for a bounce. we are seeing a bounce, but this bounce, I do have to say this bounce is a lot more than I thought we'd get. Yes, news kind of pushed this bounce a little bit. But now we can watch our bigger levels. When crypto starts getting really volatile, it can be really dangerous to scalp. So if you're not comfortable with really comfortable with scalping, I would say wait for your bigger levels to be hit, wait for reactions, and only take those trades if you're seeing confirmation. So like for instance, we're coming up to this weekly, daily anchored VWAP, point of control, golden pocket area. I would want to see some bear divs on like the 1 hour time frame and under. If we go to our 1 hour chart right now, so far we are not seeing bear divs, but what if we kind of chop around this value area low for a bit, which is highly possible actually. I think we might chop around the value area low and start a range overnight until New York opens tomorrow. So say we start chopping here for a bit in this range, and then we pump up here. We're going to have higher highs here, and this does something like this, makes a lower high momentum wave, lower lows in your momentum waves, higher lows in your price action. That would give you the confirmation up here to look for your short, to enter your short trade and set your stop above the wick of wherever that high was in there. So that's kind of what I'm watching for right now. I am going to be looking to short this if the opportunity presents, and of course if I'm awake. And then if this one doesn't work, I'll sit on my hands and I'll wait for the next short opportunity up in this area, which is where our value area high, our pitchfork, and our 786 is at. To the downside, if we break this value area low and we start dumping, the very first level I'm going to be looking at is that 0.5 in confluence with our prior highs. Let's go to the 4 hour chart. This area here, our 0.5 in confluence with our prior highs. You can also see it was our prior lows there. So this here is an important support resistance flip, because look at right here, lows. Yeah, we did go a little bit higher, but support, resistance, acting as resistance for a bit, explosion. So if we come back to this general area here, this could be an area where you want to be looking for bullish divergence or bullish absorption. You go into your CVD indicator, you'll be looking for bullish absorption. While we're here, I do want to talk about this. Look at this massive pump that we saw today, the $17,000 pump. Look at the increases in volume on this pump. Healthy increase in volume here. Open interest, healthy increase in open interest. So this push up was new money entering the market, and you can tell that money was longs because look at our CVD. CVD is aggressive market participants. So these are market longers. We know they're longers because the CVD is going up. We know they're new longs because our open interest is increasing as well. So new money stepped into the market and pushed the price up. Now, towards the top of the market, you saw a lot of people longing. Look at how aggressive the CVD got up here. Almost straight long, almost full longs to the upside, near the top of a move. After a $10,000 pump, people thought it would be a good idea to long after $10,000 of pumpage. Maybe they were feeling FOMO, whatever the case was, but they longed near the top after $10,000 pump. Well, look at top out at this local at our 786. I showed you guys that we did top out at that 786. And now this push down that we saw here, you can see it's now our CVD is going down here. So it's really, because our open interest is also going down in here, it's late longers that are getting stopped out or liquidated. You can see that because what is a forced long? It's a sell. A stoppage of a long, I'm sorry. When you get stopped out or liquidated out of your long, it's a forced sell. So that will cause the CVD to go down. And we can tell those are forced because our open interest is closing out. So all the open interest that opened really from, I would say, yeah, this low here. So all these late longers in here after what was that? Let's look here. Just from today, let's go from here up to here. Yeah, a $6,000 pump. After it pumped $6,000 already today, some people thought it would be a good idea to long after a $6,000 pump. They longed late into the game, too late into the game. They got caught on that long. They didn't take profits where the 786 was, where they should have been looking for resistance. And then as it started dumping, they started getting stopped out and liquidated. Here, open interest drops right back to that level where those late longers entered We've wiped those out, but we are still making a higher low. So Bitcoin wiped out all its late longers. It wiped out a lot of its shorters. You can see in this first push up on the pump today, huge drop in open interest. That was a lot of shorts getting stopped out or liquidated. And that's why our CVD was going up too, because a forced buyback on a short is a market buy. And you can see that the market makers are just wrecking havoc on people that don't know what they're doing in trading. So, but right now, we are not seeing any bearish CVD on the charts. We are seeing our open interest overall still increase here. And Bitcoin is back testing right now our value area low. So this is right now very, very key on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does hold this value area low, I would say we're going up to this level, if not higher. As far as our money flow looks kind of neutral right now on the 12-minute here. You can see we're not really seeing any bear divs though right now, and that's sort of a good sign. 2-hour chart, no bear divs. We are topping out on the momentum waves here, but other than that, we're not really seeing too much. I mean, we are seeing some hidden bear div in here. Hidden bear divs, but really I like to look for hidden bear divs on higher time frames, and we are not seeing hidden bear divs on this higher time frame, so that's good. Yeah, you guys, I think that Bitcoin, if Bitcoin loses this value area low, it probably is going to drop to the 0.5, but don't be worried. Look at that as a buying opportunity to continue this push up. If it drops to the 0.5, guess what? That's a common corrective target. What if this is, let's just discuss this. What if this is just a wave one? We're going to drop to that 0.5 to our range value area highs of this smaller range that we were in over the weekend and our prior highs here. And then our wave three, gosh, our wave three brings us to the top of the pitchfork at 118K. Then our wave four brings us back down to back test the value area low at 103K. And then our wave five, who knows where it goes, to the moon. You know, this is a big possibility if crypto's about to see a big turnaround. I just want to highlight this to you guys because we do need to keep in mind both scenarios. Good traders look at both the bearish and bullish scenario. They map out both scenarios. They get an idea of what's going to happen when each scenario plays out, and they trade whichever one comes. Do not have a bias that's so strong that you want to be right on, that you lose money in the market. The markets will teach you the hard way. You shouldn't have that. After years of trading, you'll learn to look at both scenarios, map out both scenarios, trade whichever one comes. Do not have a bias. Yes, we all have spot bags. So overall, I think all of us have a small bias for seeing crypto go up over time because we do hold spot bags. But as far as day trading goes, try to take that bias and put it into the back of your mind the best you can and trade the charts. Trade whatever's in front of you. Trade whatever setup comes if there's proper confirmation. Okay, guys, that's about it for Bitcoin. I'm going to move on to some of the other coins. We still have a lot to cover. Let's go to Ethereum here. Now, Ethereum, man, we were trading in this small channel here over the weekend, really over the last few days. And you can see we broke out of that channel. We didn't even get the back test of it, but look at where we're at now. So I'm going to delete this channel here. And we were able to get back into our pitchfork and we exploded up to the resistance that I had marked out. The SFP of these highs into our pitchfork midline and into our golden pocket. This area we had marked out. This was the only level of resistance I was interested in on the charts here. Yes, there was some local levels, but I wasn't looking at those too much because I knew that we were at a bigger bottom and that we could see this to the upside. Now look at Ethereum does have a much better retrace here from its lows. And I do think this is a very possible valid 5-wave impulse. Here's our 1 wave here. Here's our 2 wave here, which probably retraced the golden pocket. We just finished our 3. What if our 4 brings us down to the back test of the pitchfork band, the bullish back test, and our 5 maybe brings us, well, that's maybe too far for a 5, but maybe up to our 786 up here where Bitcoin just rejected from. And let's look at this. So we have this possible impulse here that we can look at. Let's do our golden pocket pull from the lows of wave 1 to the potential highs of wave 1. Let's turn on our golden pocket. Very common corrective target. And so for a wave 2, this is very important to know. In a 5-wave impulse for a wave 2 correction, wave 2s can have a lot of targets, but the most common targets are from the 382 to the 786. Yes, I know that's a lot because it could be the 382, it could be the 0.5, it could be the golden pocket, or it could be the 786. Golden pocket is always the most strong level. Where do we bounce from? Our golden pocket here. Then we start our wave 3 impulse to the upside. Now let's go ahead and look at to see if this is a valid wave 3 impulse to the upside. We can do a trend-based Fibonacci extinction. You go from the lows of wave 1 to the highs of wave 1 to the lows of wave 2. We put on our 1.618, and it even broke our 1.618, but your 1.618 is usually the minimum target for a wave 3. We've seen wave 3s go to the 4.618, like when Shiba and Doge had their big pumps and stuff like that. So this is looking like a valid third wave of a wave 5 a 5-wave impulse. Now, okay, if we're looking for the retrace on a wave 4, what do? You go from the start of wave 3 to the end of wave 3, if this is the end, and your most common correction targets on a wave 4 correction are from your 0.5 golden, well, really it's from the 382 to the 0.5. A rare corrective target is the 0.236. That's a rare corrective target. That's where we're bouncing from right now. But your two most common targets are the 382 to the 0.5. If you hit the golden pocket, that actually sometimes can be a bad thing. So I would say 382, where's that at? There we go. 382 to the 0.5. So where is that at? Right in our band, right in the back test of our pitchfork band. Right where I said we could end our wave 4. 382 is at 2,400 pretty much. That's also the bullish back test of our pitchfork band. Now, if we go to the 0.5, you can see that it will take more time to get down there. Our 0.5 is going to be at the bottom of our pitchfork band. So this general area is an area, knowing this is a valid 5-wave impulse, this is an area of support I would be looking between 2,400 and 2,347. That is an area I'd be looking. Now, if we take this long from our wave 4 correction, you have to know when to get out on a wave 5. How do you know when to get out on a wave 5? Well, there's a couple ways to measure the wave 5 targets. You can go from, let me bring this to a clear spot here. Where does your wave 5 potentially end? You can do a Fibonacci pull from the highs of 3 to the lows of 4. You go turn on your expansion levels, and your expansion, let's turn on our 5th wave targets. So your expansion levels can be from the 1.236 to the 1.618. Now our wave 4 is not in yet, so we can't measure our 5th wave targets yet because we're in the process of our wave 4. If this is a 5-wave impulse, we're speculating that it is based off what we've seen so far in the waves. And so we can look at that as one of our targets for our 5-wave impulse. But you can see the 5-wave impulse usually is not too much higher than the 3rd wave. And we do have, the 786 could be a good level up here, about 2688, or it could even be the golden pocket up here, the 0.65 of the golden pocket. The only thing I don't like about that is we've already hit did we hit the 618? We have not hit the golden pocket yet. So just above us, this golden pocket could be the highs of our 5-wave. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to dump right back down to the lows afterwards. After you see a 5-wave impulse, let me come here. After you see that 5-wave impulse, you should look for a 3-wave correction to the downside, or a series of 3-wave corrections in a complex correction. But that 3-wave impulse could bring you to your macro golden pocket. If you take the macro golden pocket from your wave 1 all the way to your wave 5, and you turn on your golden pocket, your ABC correction could end at the golden pocket, and then you start another impulse to the upside. So that is how we can look at these. Now that we're starting to see some impulsive price action on some of these coins, if we know a little bit about Elliott theory in confluence with some of the other stuff we know as far as support and resistance levels, horizontal support and resistance levels, the other big thing we follow is liquidity and volume. So that's why I love volume profiles so much. Volume profiles are so key in this area of looking for support and resistance. Bullish back tests of value area lows, bearish back tests of value area highs, all these different things that we look for, point of control tests. So, and actually we can do this volume profile pull of this kind of 23-day range that we saw. And you can see the value area high could be where our wave 5 ends right up here, because it would be a bearish back test of the range that we lost. That is also right around this box here. We did get the SFP though. Let's actually go into that real quick here. Let's zoom in onto the 15-minute chart. And you can see, okay, so on the 15-minute, it wasn't really an SFP, but on the hourly chart, and this is a bigger pump to the upside. Okay, not even on the hourly. That's actually a little bit more bullish, actually, that we didn't see it even on the hourly. If we go to the 4-hour, you can see that it was a 4-hour SFP, but that's to be expected after a huge, multi-percent pump like this. So this SFP, we can delete this now. We've already seen that play out. We have not hit our golden pocket and our pitchfork just above us, our pitchfork midline just above us. So I will be watching for this still as a resistance. Now that that hasn't been hit as well, we do have the SFP of today's highs that we'll probably see tomorrow us come up and test if we bounce from this level. And that would be the area we could see an SFP into the golden pocket, into the pitchfork midline, and then see our correction, our bigger ABC. Yeah, so now if we're wrong on this impulse, and we maybe it's not going to go to the 0.5 of the wave 3, we can do our Fibonacci pull here from the lows to the highs. And we can look at you can look at your more macro golden pockets. We'll look at that. Where's our more macro golden pocket coming in? Around the lows of the pitchfork. So I would say this area here would be if we break the first green box that I just marked out, I would say, and let me pull this down just a little bit. Actually, let's look at it. Let's do this, and let's look at what I call the JC pocket. That's from the golden pocket to the 786, the area between there. And we could pull this over just a bit because it would take some time to get down there. And I would say this would be our next key crucial box of support between 2255 and 2175. Let's mark this out. This is golden pocket 786 pitchfork bottom. Okay. Boom. This is going to be pitchfork band. Okay, so we got that there. And yeah, just above us still. So I'm going to delete this now. Our golden pocket is in here. Just know that our golden pocket is in this purple box. I'm going to delete this for now. And then above us, we still do have this box up here, which is the back test of our much bigger range value area low and a daily up there and the top of our pitchfork. You can see the top of our pitchfork is up there. So we'll also put... and we'll also go ahead and look at now. Let's go on to the weekly chart now that it's a new week. I know this looks messy. Let me delete some of this stuff here. Actually, we can change this daily now to a weekly because the week's closed. So this is now a weekly at 28.19. We also have our weekly up here at 32.31. Let's go on to our dailies now. And we do have a new daily support. Now look at where our daily support is coming in. I didn't know a daily was here yet. I just get into the charts today, guys. I was out all day. So here we go. New daily level. It's already in the box we've already marked out. So we can go ahead and add that to our... So not only is it the JC pocket area, what I call the JC pocket, named after Jason Casper, the pitchfork bottom, and we have a daily there. Now let's check our naked daily and naked weekly points of control, and let's see what we have as far as those go. Let's start with the week. Yep. Naked weekly point of control in there. Wow, what a coincidence. It's a point of control of the week we just closed, right on top of our daily. So We are building confluence for very strong support down here in this box. Let me make sure I got that right. It's pretty much right on top of our daily here. We'll mark that out. Naked weekly point of control. 2217, 2216. That's like the, if you really want to snipe, that's the level to look for. Really, really want to snipe that because that could be towards the bottom of our picture work. That could be in perfect alignment by the time we get down there. If we get down there. I'm not saying we're going to get down there. I'm saying if we do. Now, above us, there's not any really naked weeklies up until around this weekly area. But we will mark this. I'm pretty sure I have this marked on the chart already. Just hidden. But let's go ahead and mark that out right now. And then we're going to go into our daily naked points of controls. Let's turn that on. And let's look at our dailies. Okay, so just above us, here we have a daily, and then nothing else until up in this area. But this area is now telling me this is a strong area up here because we have a golden pocket up here. Let's make sure that I might need to change that golden pocket. So I want to look at that real quick because I want to make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that golden pocket is from the top of our pitchfork to our new lows. Golden pockets up here. We do have the weekly level nearby. And you could also see there was naked daily point of controls within there. 2 of them. So I'm going to mark this out real quick. I know this looks really messy, but from this golden pocket at 33.96 all the way down to the weekly level, we're going to mark this out. We're going to make it purple because it's resistance. And we're going to say naked daily POC times 2 because there's 2 of them in there. We have our golden pocket and a weekly. That's pretty strong up there. And then also, now let me turn that off so that this doesn't look so chaotic. And then we also will look at our bigger upper range here. Now, Ethereum, we're going to include the dump because this dump is part of this whole big range. I would say I'd even pull it to the end of this impulse here. And the value area low is a little bit lower than that, but actually that's changed a bit. It's lowered a bit since this dump. It used to be up in this box here. It was up in this box, the value area low, daily picture top. So now the value area low is lowered since we had this aggressive dump to the downside. But I would say that box is still pretty important up there. Or let's see if this changes it. If we bring it just to this price action here. Little bit, not really though. Okay, check this out, guys. Our point of control of our major daily range is up there too. Really the whole range of this entire cycle. Because this is going back to January of 2024. So not our entire cycle, but since January of 2024. So once again, we're building confluence here. Up in this box that we've already had marked out, it's already our 2 naked daily points of control, a golden pocket, a weekly. Now we can add, large POC. So that is very strong area of resistance up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete some of this to get it off the chart. And now we'll do one last thing here. We're going to do our golden pocket pull from these 4,100 highs all the way down to our lows here. Oh, yeah, okay, that was the golden pocket pull. All right, that's the same one. So yeah, major resistance here because it's our golden pocket pull from the 4,100 highs down to our 2,000 lows. By the way, guys, I did cover this a little bit in Friday's video. But where were we looking for ETH to bottom out at? We were looking for the SFP of this key range low. This was our ultimate range low of like this entire bigger range that we've been seeing up here. And remember on the flash crash, we had front run that low. We did not come take the liquidity of that low. So I said, guys, I think now that we have liquidity from the flash crash and liquidity from the major range low, I think that Ethereum is going to come down and take them together. Well, what do? We come down, we take the liquidity of both of them together, and now we're reversing. So if you know the major levels to look for, if you have proper confirmation on your trades, you could be up so big right now on all these. I just wanted to show you that. We covered that on Friday's video, so that shouldn't be a surprise. But okay, I need to get moving on here because I have a lot to cover still. So that was Ethereum. Let's go ahead and go into Solana here. Solana, once again, guys, I covered this too. I was talking about a few days before it happened. I said, okay, I found the value area low of our big daily range on Solana. So this range on Solana was after this explosive impulse. You can see at the top of this impulse, we've kind of been going sideways and up a little bit, but majority of the way sideways since when was this? Like March, the March highs, March 2024 highs, where a lot of altcoins made significant highs in March of 2024. Since then, Solana's kind of been trading in a big sideways daily range. Well, if we pull the volume profile of that range, our value area low, I said, if we break this pitchfork midline, but by the way, look at on the daily, we didn't really even break it on the daily. We just wicked to the value area low. So the major levels, I said I was looking for swing longs on Solana. Was the pitchfork midline around $136. And if we break that, I will be looking to swing long the value area low. And I said 127.8. That's where I entered, 127.8. And where do we go to? Value area low. Overall on the daily, we held this pitchfork midline. Well, now where are we pumping to? The only resistance I had marked on the chart from Friday. On Friday, we marked out this resistance. Now, we didn't actually get it. Unlike Ethereum, where we did SFP those key highs, Solana did not, which is in some respects more bullish. So we do have, if we go on to our 4-hour chart, we had our macro golden pocket in that area. Let's see if it was macro. I know I just zoomed in, but I just want to make sure. Okay, this is not our macro golden pocket, but this was the last time we rejected from the pitchfork after re-entering the pitchfork. You can see we re-entered the pitchfork, bounced from the pitchfork band, came to the top of the pitchfork and rejected, reconfirming price action within the pitchfork. And that is where I pulled the golden pocket from, because that was a key bearish backtest and rejection. So our golden pocket is up there, right along confluence with our pitchfork band. And we had the key SFP up there. Now we did not hit it. We front ran it. I mean, look how bullish this was. Holy cow. Look at that daily candle. But we also have our value area high at the top of the pitchfork band. And let's do one last thing here. Let's go ahead and do our Fibonacci pull from the all-time high down to our lows. Now, I do believe this is more than 100% move. So what do we have to do, guys? We have to put it on log scale. 170%. No, sorry. 57% move. No, we don't have to put it on log scale. Okay, so look at when I don't put it on log scale, where is our macro golden pocket coming in? Our macro golden pocket from the all-time high to our lows that we just made at the top of the pitchfork. Now that to me is a very key level of resistance. Very, very key level at 230 to 236. Let's go ahead and look and see if we have any naked weekly points of control up there. Yes. Oh my gosh. Look how nice this works. Look at TA is just amazing. So here we go. Let's mark this out there. Let me make sure I got that on there. Naked weekly point of control at 235. So 235 to 236 is the big level. And then I bet you we have a daily in there as well, a naked daily, but let's check it out. Yep, naked daily right up there too. And you can see that, okay, wow, a lot of levels to look at here. We do have a naked daily point of control in our first purple box right next to our smaller. Let's mark this out. Right there, right in the middle. Okay, naked daily point of control. So from 183 to 187, or I would even say 190. I'm not going to mark out this one because it's right above our golden pocket. And if we come above our golden pocket, we're probably coming to the value area high up here. So let's only mark the one out that's in the golden pocket. To the downside, look at where our naked daily point of control is at the value area low. So if we do come back down to that value area low again, we can expect maybe it will hold again. Maybe we see a quick SFP of the lows and then hit our value area low. Okay, right. There we go. Naked daily at 127.8, right where I longed, 127.8. Okay. All right, so boom. And here we go. So couple levels we have to watch. Now I'm going to clean this up because we've already marked out our boxes on these levels. So now we just clean up the charts and look at the boxes. Let's go ahead and hide this naked weak. Let me leave that on for a second until I mark it out. So this box up here, we're going to go from our 0.65 golden pocket down to our 618. This is going to be our pitchfork top GP, and that's our macro GP, and then a naked weekly POC. Oh, and you know what? Now that it's a new month, we can also check our pivot points. Pivot points up there too. I didn't even know that would be up there, I promise. Pivot points up there. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher right there. And then we'll do our 2 pivot. Okay, there we go. And I should check those on the other ones, but I'll do that in after the video, and I can update you guys on those boxes. All right, and then look at where our S1 pivot is, right at our naked daily point of control. All right, geez, this is, yeah, good confluence, good confluence. Okay, so I'm going to mark this out here. We're going to turn it green because it's our support. And I know that doesn't even look like a box because we're zoomed out on the 12-hour, but when you zoom in on the 1 hour, you will see it's a box. We have a S1 pivot, large range value area low. So remember, this is our large range value area low, and then a naked daily point of control. That's significant support still. And then really, we could even throw the SFP of that low into there because it would be nice to just see an SFP of this. Yes, we'd be breaking the box a little bit, but we hopefully, this is our general area. So let's actually extend this box to right there. Boom. Okay. You can see our point of control of that range. Well, we'll mark that out. I bet you that's where the golden pocket is. Let me turn this off now, and so we have our 2 major boxes of resistance above us, like the 2 big ones. There is other resistances in between that. Like I do think this value area high here is a significant resistance because actually let's look. I bet you it's also the 0.5 or close to it. Maybe a 382. So we do this and let's go to our 0.5. No, okay. No. All right, but I do think this here is still significant because it's a value area high of the range in confluence with the top of the pitchfork band. Like look at that confluence there, right at the top of the pitchfork band. So I'm going to mark a box out there just because I do think it's kind of strong. Make it purple. And this is going to be value area high / pitchfork band. All right. And then, what did I just do here? This is going to be purple. And this is going to be no, did I mess up my nice box? There we go. Border purple. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. So that's value area high. It would help to go to the text box. I know you can't see the writing in there, but you can see it if you zoom out on that. This one, we should have had this marked out, but this is it's a smaller golden pocket. It's also the bottom of the pitchfork band. It was SFP area. And there's something else there, but yeah, all right. We'll just leave that for now. And then, so yeah, to the downside, there's that one. And then, of course, we have our bigger levels down below, but we're not going to, like, this SFP at 110 into our pitchfork band down here. I've been talking about that in many videos. Okay, that's really it for Solana here. No, one more support level we need to look at, because if we're going to kind of see a bigger retracement to the downside now. So let's go on to our 4-hour chart. If this big move up here, and look how nice this looks as a possible 5-wave impulse here, like this being our wave 1 here, wave 2, wave 3, 4, 5, you know. Now 5 looks too long, but I just want to check something real quick here. Yeah, we corrected to the 0.5, which was in confluence with the back test of our pitchfork band. Man, TA is awesome. Remember what I said, guys, for a wave 2, the common targets from the 382 to the 786. So the 0.5, you can see that even on my thing here, if I go here, ABC correction target or 0.5, I have it as, you know, because it is a very key level, the 0.5, especially in traditional markets. 0.5 tends to bounce a lot in traditional markets on second wave impulses, second waves of an impulse. All right, so there's that. And then let's look at our macro golden pocket from the lows that we had to today's highs. And we go to our golden pocket. I had a feeling it was going to be around that point of control. So now what can we do? I'm going to mark out our more local level of support. We're going to do from the golden pocket down to the pitchfork band. And let's make this green. Okay, and I'm going to delete this. Let's grab this. This is the 0.5 pitchfork midline. And then the POC, large POC. So that's pretty significant support there because of our large point of control there. Now, if our, let's even zoom in even more. Now, I'm not going to mark this out, but I just want to show you guys this. If this is a wave 1 and this was our wave 2 and this was our wave 3, then we can look for our wave 4 targets by doing the retrace from the lows of wave 2 to the highs of wave 3. And we look between our 382 and 0.5. So let's go to our 0.5 here. 159, we can turn on our 382. Yeah, 164 to 159, that area. Oh, and you know what else we can do? We can look at this little range that we were in over the weekend here, this bottoming range. Let me make sure. There we go. Oh, and look at this. Our value area high of our small range is in here as well. So let's mark that out. But I'm going to put small. Okay, yeah, I do like this. And even our small point of controls there too. I'm not going to add that to it, but just know that that's in there. All right, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Solana here. I need to get going a bit quicker on some of these here. Okay, next up, let's go to XRP. XRP has been trading in this big descending channel that I've been talking about for quite a while here. Okay, you can see that we did get a small reaction from our golden pocket that I had marked on the chart here. That golden pocket was from this high to the new lows. Golden pocket is where we saw our only small pullback. But you can see on that golden pocket, where do we pull back to? The bullish back test of the value area low that we had lost. So reclaim the value area low, back tested the value area low, then you saw the explosion. TA, I'm telling you guys, TA is so great. And look at where we pumped to. All these coins are front running my boxes just barely, but maybe that means I need to make them a little bit bigger. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But you can see that we're in the general vicinity here. And it pumped above the value area high, which was also a key anchored VWAP. God, XRP looks even more bullish than Solana and Bitcoin, really. Look at this thing. Whew. But it is near the top of the channel. So now what we can look for is this box here. Let me see if I had this marked out. Yeah, there's a weekly, a value area low, and a 786. Now, what am I talking about with a value area low? I'm talking about the value area low of this upper range only. We were up in this upper range and we lost it. Our value area low of that range is in this box. Also, we had a fresh weekly up there. Let's go ahead and go on to the weekly, and we'll mark out all the weeklies that we have. We'll see if we actually hit that weekly. I know I have these hidden in my object tree, but I just want to see real quick. We front ran it. Okay. So the weekly is still there. And then now we also do have a new weekly down here. We can mark that out, and we'll actually put that on because that just closed today. And all right, now let's go to the dailies. Looks like we have a daily way down here near the value area low, but that's going to be important. So I'm going to mark this daily out because that daily down here is at our more macro range value area low. So 214.5 is going to be a support level. And if you can see, we reject from the top of the band, the top of the channel. Say we come up a little bit higher, reject from the top of the channel, we could come all the way back. Bounce from the midline of the channel, which would be in confluence with the value area low and our daily. But okay, let's turn on our naked weeklies. Ooh, okay. Check this out. Naked weeklies down here as well. Where's that? Where's that? There we go. And we also have one up here. Now, this one is the candle that just opened, so you don't mark that out because we still have 6.5 days. Here we go, naked weekly. Boom, at 311. So what I would like to do now is we're going to mark out just our, really to the resistances to the upside. There's not much left, guys. There's not much left. Oh, let me mark out the dailies real quick. Whew. Okay, we also have a naked daily in that level, that general vicinity, and down here as well. Okay. A lot of confluence building up on these charts, on all of them. Really nice levels to start looking at. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's turn it off first. I know there was a couple other ones there, but I'm not going to look at them right now. I want to get through this. So, this box, we already had it on the chart. What I'm going to do with this box is I'm just going to extend it a little bit upwards to include those naked daily and naked weekly points of control. It's already on top of the weekly and the value area low. So we're going to add here. And also our 786 is up there. So now we have a naked daily POC and a naked weekly POC. And when I say our 786, we were doing the 786. Actually, look how much Solana dumped on the flash crash, even lower than it went here. So we were doing, or I'm sorry, not Solana, XRP. So we were doing the 786 pull from here to here. And if we go to our 786, you can see our 786 is up there. And we did not hit the 786 either. So we front ran the weekly and the 786 and our value area low. So that is still a completely naked resistance box that we have up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I won't delete them. I'll hide them. That box is the most important resistance above us. If we break this, really the only thing above us is this level here, which we do have a naked daily point of control. Pitchfork band, that we need to delete that, and value area high of that smaller range. But that's still a value area high is an important area. And then to the downside now. Well, we have this fresh weekly where the anchored VWAP from our these lows. Now, I don't know if that's as important now because we made a new lower low. Let me just delete that one. But let's do an anchored VWAP from our flash crash lows. That's going to be around the point of control. That's actually pretty important. Let me mark out this level here real quick because this here is going to be our value area low, naked daily POC, naked weekly POC, daily level, and channel midline. Lot of resistance or support, excuse me, here. And then we'll go ahead and hide these now to clean up the chart. I need to get this video out too because it's getting kind of late. So, and I know you guys asked for some altcoins. I will try to get to those. Let me see. I got to get a couple more things done today here. I'm also, guys, I'm working on making my live stream. I've been working on it kind of all day yesterday, a little bit. Really trying to get learning this so I can do proper live streams. I'm not a genius like Jason Casper. Okay, 786 is also in this box. Let's go ahead and mark that out. This also has the 786 in there. Now, but let's look at our golden pocket. Golden pocket's a little bit below our point of control. Ooh. Okay. But the point the anchored VWAP from our flash crash is right at that point of control, and our golden pocket, I don't like let's look at the 0.5 instead. I mean, we kind of have a mismatch of supports because we have a support level really from the 0.5 to the point of control here. We have our value area high right on top of the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. So that's actually, I wouldn't even mark this one out yet. I'm not even going to look at this, but let's look at our 382 real quick because in a strong trend, the 382, okay. I'd rather like this box instead. 382 to the weekly, a fresh weekly. So we'll do this. This is going to be our 382 weekly. Okay. And then above us, I do like this box. I do like this as well. This is our value area high bullish back test. First, let's actually pull this range all the way to make sure. Yeah, it's right on top of that anchored VWAP. You can't even see it. So this is not really an area. It's more of a certain level now. But at 268.78 or like 269 is where we can look for XRP to bounce. If it's really bullish, it's going to bounce from the bullish backtest to the value area high, also in confluence with our anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. So, I mean, we can do this, like this itty-bitty box here. This is going to be value area high / a VWAP. If you zoom in on like the 15-minute, you'll see that's an actual box there. But all right, those are our support levels. I do like this one because it's a bullish backtest to that. But if we break that really this weekly, I mean, there's so much good stuff down here. This is the big one. This box down here. And let me mark this out here for you guys. Between 214 and 220 is our significant support. Like very strong, significant support. And even if we do a small weekend range, like this weekend range, you can see our point of controls in there as well. I'm not even going to add that to it, but there's a lot here. There is a lot here between 214 and 220. To the upside, there is a lot above us between 302 to 311. Okay, that's it for XRP. Now, guys, I'm gonna make a second video tonight. I'll put it out in about an hour, but I want to get this one uploaded because it's got the Bitcoin on it. And then I'll cover some more of the altcoins. I'll cover Link on that next one. and get another one out. All right. Have a good night, guys.